Particles of dust swirled in the glaring beams of morning light, cutting through the eerie stillness of the ruined landscape. They filtered through the boarded-up windows of a dilapidated gas station. The air hung heavy, thick with the stench of decay and despair. My name is John, and this is my reality. 7 years ago, the world ended. Now, we fight to survive another day in this zombie-infested wasteland. I pulled myself up from the stained mattress, the springs groaning in protest. My stomach rumbled, a constant reminder of the scarcity that defined our existence. I scavenged for scraps, finding a half-eaten can of beans, better than nothing. Outside, the world was a graveyard of civilization. Rusting cars lay like fallen beasts, picked clean by survivors and the elements. The wind howled through the empty streets, carrying the distant groans of the undead. They were always there, lurking just beyond the veil of our fragile safety. Today, I had a mission. The old radio crackled to life yesterday, a faint distress call from a nearby settlement. They needed medicine, something I could barter for food and maybe, just maybe, some company. But first, I needed to fortify myself, prepare for the dangers that awaited. Out in the open, the sun beat down with unforgiving intensity. The air shimmered, distorting the horizon. Every step in this wasteland was a gamble, a roll of the dice against hunger, thirst, and the ever-present undead. But danger wasn't confined to the rotting corpses that roamed the earth. As I navigated the crumbling asphalt, the glint of sunlight on metal caught my eye. Hidden in the shadow of a toppled bus, two figures were locked in a deadly struggle. One, a young woman with wild, desperate eyes, swung a rusty pipe. The other, a hulking brute of a man, easily deflected her blows. He laughed, a cruel, mocking sound that sent chills down my spine. "Foolish girl," he snarled, his voice thick with malice. "This is my territory now. Your supplies are mine." He lunged and the girl cried out. I couldn't just stand by. It went against everything I believed in. But in Navisgan, helping someone could get you killed. I had to make a choice, and fast. The brute's back was to me, his attention focused on the terrified woman. It was a chance, a slim one, but maybe enough. I gripped the rusty pipe that served as my only weapon, my knuckles white. "Hey!" I roared, hoping to distract him, give the woman a fighting chance. The brute whirled around, his eyes burning with rage. He was bigger than I expected, his face scarred and twisted into a permanent snarl. "You want to die, old man?" he growled, spitting on the ground. "This ain't your fight." He took a menacing step towards me, and I knew there was no backing down. This was it. "Maybe," I said, my voice surprisingly steady, "but you're not taking her supplies. Not today." I raised my pipe, feeling a surge of adrenaline course through my veins. It wasn't much, but it would have to do. We were fighting for our lives now. The brute charged, a roaring bull of muscle and fury. I dodged, feeling the wind of his fist whistle past my ear. He was strong, but clumsy. I used his momentum against him, landing a solid kick to his knee. He roared in pain, momentarily stunned. It was my chance. I swung the pipe with all my might, connecting with a sickening thud against his temple. He staggered, his eyes glazed over. I pressed my advantage, raining down blows until he crumpled to the ground unconscious. The woman stared at me, her chest heaving. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling. I don't know what would have happened." She looked around, her eyes wide with the lingering terror. "We need to get out of here. He has friends." She was right. This wasn't over. But for now, we had survived. I offered her a hand up, and she took it, her grip surprisingly strong. "I'm Sarah," she said. "What's your name?" "John," I replied, nodding. "We need to get you somewhere safe." Section 5. Whispers on the Wind. Sarah led me through a maze of abandoned buildings. She knew this part of the city well, navigating the rubble with ease. Her group, a small band of survivors, was holed up in an old library. They were desperate for medicine. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows. The air grew colder, and the wind carried the groans of the undead. We needed to find shelter, fast. There, Sarah pointed to a dilapidated church. We can hole up there for the night. The church was in bad shape, but it would provide cover. As we barricaded ourselves inside, I felt we were being watched. I gripped my pipe tighter, senses on high alert. The night was young, and danger lurked in the shadows. Section 6. A Pact Forged in Blood. The night was a symphony of unsettling sounds. The wind howled through the shattered windows of the church. Outside, the moans of the undead grew louder. Sarah huddled by the makeshift fire, her eyes wide. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night. It came from outside, close by. We grabbed our weapons, fear lending us strength. A pack of feral zombies, their eyes glowing an eerie red. They were different, faster, stronger, hungrier. Section 7. The Horde Night Beckons. The feral zombies swarmed the church, their rotting fists pounding against the barricades. The flimsy wood groaned under their assault, threatening to give way. We were outnumbered, outmatched. But we couldn't give up. Not now. We need to get to the roof. I yelled over the din, my voice hoarse. There's a ladder in the back. Sarah nodded, her face pale but determined. We fought our way through the growing horde, our makeshift weapons finding their marks. But for every zombie we put down, 2 more seemed to take its place. The air was thick with the stench of decay and the coppery tang of blood. The floor was slick with gore, making it treacherous to keep our footing. But we pressed on, our survival instincts kicking in. We had to reach the roof, had to find a way out of this nightmare. Section 8. A Desperate Stand. We burst onto the roof, gasping for air. The night sky was a swirling vortex of dark clouds lit by flashes of distant lightning. The wind whipped at our faces, carrying with it the chilling moans of the undead. We were surrounded with nowhere left to run. "We're sitting ducks up here!" Sarah shouted, her voice barely audible above the howling wind. "We need to find a way to fight them off." She was right. It was only a matter of time before the horde found a way up. We needed a plan, and fast. My eyes scanned the rooftop, desperately searching for anything we could use to defend ourselves. And then I saw it. A rusty old water tank, perched precariously on the edge of the roof. It was a long shot, but it might be our only chance. "Help me push this over," I yelled, pointing to the water tank. Sarah's eyes widened in understanding. We both knew it was a desperate gamble, but we were out of options. It was do or die. Section 9. Through the Fire. With a Herculean effort, we managed to dislodge the water tank from its perch. It teetered on the edge for a heart-stopping moment before plummeting to the ground below with a deafening crash. The impact sent a shockwave through the air, knocking me off my feet. When I looked up, I couldn't believe my eyes. The water tank had landed squarely in the middle of the horde, crushing dozens of zombies beneath its weight. A geyser of water erupted from the ruptured metal, washing away the gore and momentarily halting the undead advance. "We did it!" Sarah shouted, her voice laced with disbelief and relief. But our moment of triumph was short-lived. The remaining zombies, enraged by the loss of their brethren, surged towards the base of the building, their moans echoing through the night. They were relentless, driven by a hunger that knew no bounds. We had bought ourselves some time, but it wouldn't be long before they found a way up. We needed to get out of here, and fast. But as I looked around at the desolate cityscape, I realized we had nowhere left to run. Section 10. A New Dawn. The first rays of dawn broke through the storm clouds, casting a faint ethereal glow over the ravaged city. We had survived the night, but our ordeal was far from over. The horde had thinned, but not dispersed. They still lurked in the shadows, drawn to the scent of living flesh. As I looked out over the wasteland, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. But amidst the death and despair, there was also hope. Hope for a better tomorrow, hope for a future where humanity could rebuild. "We need to keep moving," I said, my voice raspy from exhaustion. "There's safety in numbers." And as we made our way towards it, I couldn't help but feel a surge of optimism. We had survived the night, and with each sunrise came the promise of a new day, a new chance at life.